So there is an AI company called Dynamics Lab, and they have come under fire after initially having a post go sort of viral, sort of. But basically what they shared was this. It's called Mirage 2, a real-time general domain generative world engine you can play online. Upload any image, photos, concept art, classic paintings, kids' drawings, and step into it as a live interactive world. Prompt your worlds with text to create any surreal scenes and wild events, then share a link. Your friends can jump in and play instantly. And this is what they shared. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. As you can see, they put in the screenshot. Somebody looked it up. They found the screenshot. It was literally Red Dead Redemption 2. They found the exact screenshot that it was copied from, that it then immediately starts generating off of. But it also looks like this possibly is a fake demo and it's like using a bunch of AI generated video stitched together. But either way, this is part of the vision of some of these like AI video game creators. They think that this is the future. Okay. So what they did is they typed in a pristine modern metropolis, clean, busy, bustling with glass towers and heavy traffic of sports vehicles. The main character sitting confident atop a dark gray something. And then you'll see it transition. He rounds the corner and then you see him ride up and there's a city. He turns around and all of a sudden he's on a city street. And it's generating an interactive world through AI. Wow. A scene fractures into dazzling cyberpunk dystopian future, blah, blah, blah. He turns the camera and then it's going to start turning into that. Wait for it. Purple. Of course, purple. You have to have purple. There he turns and then you'll see it generating that. And here's the deal. Like some of this stuff is just honestly a fun little gimmick, right? It's just a fun little gimmick to be like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting that it's creating like an AI generated whatever. But there are companies that are literally raising tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to do this, but in a video game development context. There are people that are making massive investments thinking that this is the future of game development, that this is where the future lies when it comes to creating AAA gaming experiences. Because for one, they're like, oh, so we don't even need to hire developers really. We just need to kind of have this AI tool set that can create what the player wants or can create what the developer in question wants by just typing a bunch of prompts in. And so we don't even have to make anything. We can just let the AI do it, right? And I can't believe I'm saying this, but shockingly, the most grounded take on AI generation within video games came from the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, Strauss Zelnick. Take-Two Interactive is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They're the ones that publish NBA 2K, like one of the most over-monetized sports games in the world. They also, of course, are the publishers and owners of Rockstar and GTA and Red Dead and all of that. But when he was asked about AI generation on CNBC, we actually looked at it on stream, he pointed out that AI, by its very nature, is trained on stuff. And by training it on stuff, that means it is, from the ground up, built on other work. It is derivative. It's built using a lot of stuff that it's looked at and then trying to present something it thinks matches what you're asking it. It's not actually creating anything. It's creating a derivation of that. It's why AI image generators really, really struggle with creating like a overflowing glass of wine, which we've even done on stream where we pulled up an AI image generator and tried to ask it to create a glass of wine with the red wine spilling over the top of the glass, because it's been trained on all of these photos of a glass perfectly filled halfway, no more, no less, in these advertising, promotional materials, whatever. And so it doesn't understand how to present something that's overflowing because it's never been trained on that. And in the context of video game creation and film creation and everything else, because it doesn't create, it never will. Like maybe there is a version of an AI that they could create that is capable of actual creation of unique things. But as of right now, all it's doing is it's just being trained on a bunch of other stuff, clips and videos and stuff, or in this case, an actual screenshot from Red Dead Redemption 2. And then it's trying to infer from that what the game should be. And that just doesn't necessarily follow. And you can see even over the course of this video, like the horse starts out with the white top. By the end of the video, the horse has turned completely brown and black. And it's like the gun now, the barrel is crooked, and it's lost all of that detail because it's not actually grounded in anything. It's just trying to present an imitation of it. So naturally this came out and people were like, wow, this looks like garbage. And they shared some other videos. They shared like this screenshot, and they show some little tidbits like this. And I do think there is an application where this could perhaps be useful in a game development space. Like if you had somebody that is not an artist, who is not a like level designer or something, and they're just trying to communicate to the team kind of the vibe they're going, I could see this. Like you let this generate something like this for you, and then you show, yeah, so this is kind of the vibe I'm looking for, like a city with the cobblestone streets, the lamps and everything. Of course, don't put the lamp in the street, we'll move it off to the side, but like this is the kind of vibe I'm going for. I could see that. This actual game within oh crap, what's the artist's name? Van Gogh. That's kind of interesting. Okay. You can see they're charging, of course, for all of this. Computer required single consumer grade GPU. Other ones, starting from a child's drawing, they can generate stuff like this from a house. This one they can also do. So I could see this being useful in some contexts, just for communicating like a quick idea of what you kind of have in your head. But do I think they'll ever use this in the context of like creating a video game from it? No, I personally don't think so. I think we'll see people try it. I think so. But I think they'll be terrible, personally. I can't foresee it working well. But, you know, we're in the infancy of this stuff. You remember when NFTs were becoming a big thing back in like 2021? Everything was about NFTs. All of these companies were saying, yeah, we're investing heavily in NFT architectures and we're doing all this because it was basically being framed as Web 3.0 and as the next generation of crypto. And everybody's like, wow, Bitcoin's exploding. So if I can get in early on the next like Bitcoin, awesome. And so they put tons of money. And even now, like earlier this year, Ubisoft was still releasing NFT games because they had been in production for years, and it takes that long to see it. So I think we'll see probably in like 2, 3, 4 years, we'll start to see some of these games that are being produced and built with these like generative tools. And they'll probably be terrible because I just don't think that it doesn't, like Strauss-Zelnick said, it doesn't create, it derives. And that doesn't mean that it's useless as a tool, but it's important to understand what it's actually doing and what it's capable of. And I feel like right now there's a lot of these like boomer type dudes who don't actually understand what the AI is actually doing. And they're just like, oh, so I can just type in and it can create an entire video game that we can sell for $70. Oh yeah, let's just do that. Like, I think there's very little actual appreciation for what's going on. And I think that's also happening across the rest of the tech sector. Apple just published a paper a few weeks ago where they had some of their AI engineers researching this, and they found that like these big LLMs, these AI models that Grok, ChatGPT use, they are not actually capable of reasoning. And how they trained it was really interesting. They asked the AI to read basically a manual for a game, and so that it could learn how to play this like board game basically. And then what they did is they changed one of the rules just a little. You know, it could be something as simple as like, if you think of playing chess, you learn the rules of chess, you can play chess. But then I say, hey, we're not going to do en passant. We're not going to allow that in this game for whatever reason. We're just not going to allow en passant. When they made that change, it literally could not grasp it. Like the AI fell apart and was not able to perform any of the tasks asked as it pertained to the game because it wasn't actually like evaluating and thinking logically that, okay, I want to do this move, I want to do this, this, and this, but I was told that this rule changed, so I have to change my understanding of the rules based on that and do that. It didn't work. And it's just because, again, like the AI tools, the way it's been described also by some people, which is very, very oversimplified, is just that a lot of these AI tools are effectively massively powerful and capable, like autocorrect, if you want to think of it that way. What they're basically doing is they're trying to complete your prompts given the information you've given it, and being trained on all this other data. It's trying to fill in an answer that it believes you will agree with. And sometimes it's very capable and it's capable of doing really impressive things, but it's not actually thinking. It's not like logical. It's just trying to connect dots as efficiently as it can. That's why it's important to just understand what it actually is, you know? So we're going to see more of this. I mean, again, like I said, we're already seeing these things creep up, and I would imagine in the next 3, 4, 5 years, you'll see like, oh, did you see the new game on the Switch? it's a cyberpunk open world adventure game, and this is literally all it is. It's like a couple of pictures they put into one of these AI tools, and then they run it and simulate it. It doesn't remember what was in front. You see the camera just changed, and then the environment changes and everything. This is going to be the extent of it. And I'm sure these tools will get better. They'll get higher resolution. They'll run faster. They'll remember like layouts and situational stuff more. But I think it just is it betrays that some of these people just don't understand video games if they think that this is an adequate replacement or could ever be an adequate replacement for like a well-built and crafted open world. But I thought it was interesting, and I thought I would share it with you because I do find it compelling and an interesting topic, and it's one that we're going to hear a lot about in the future. Jez mentioned thing about all this shit is ultimately about whether this works as a business at scale. If there's no audience for AI bullocks masquerading as games, the electricity use isn't even going to come close to paying for itself. And this is the big thing. If nobody wants it, there's no point. However cool it may be, it doesn't matter. And this was the thing with NFTs. I can understand the pitch of NFTs, and I told you guys on stream, there is a universe where NFTs could have been used for good. You know, there was a universe where NFTs could be tied to digital licenses for games. So like if I buy a game on Steam, I'd be able to sell you the license to that game because it's tied to the blockchain and because it's specifically just my non-fungible token copy that gives me the right to play this game and own it. And so you could actually sell digital assets to each other, meaning you could buy a game and then sell it to your buddy for $1 if you wanted to. And then he could just put in the code or whatever, and then he could play the game on Steam. That could have been done. It wasn't though, because that would not make these companies tons of money. You know, instead they wanted to use NFTs to allow you to like buy skins in games and then bring them to other games so that you keep buying tons of skins. And then if you want to ever sell your skin to somebody else, then they take a 10% cut of that every single step of the way. And it just very quickly fell apart. And my frustration with NFTs was always, why should players be excited about this? What is the thing that's going to make players have a better time with it? And they could never explain it. Like there wasn't really a reason why players and gamers should like NFTs other than it's a new way to spend money. Whereas NFTs could have been used to allow for like transfer of digital assets like copies of games or CDs or movies and things. Like imagine if you were able to buy a movie on Amazon Prime Video and then sell your copy of that movie to your buddy. Like that would be amazing. That'd be great. Just like physical media, basically. But they're never going to do that because then they only make money on one copy. So, you know, even though NFTs could have been used for good, they were not.